Welcome to Stay at Home Dads, a podcast.
With your hosts, Drew and Justin, a place where we talk about a lot of guy stuff.
And a little bit of dad stuff too. So kick back, relax, and let's talk. All right, are we ready?
Ready.
All right, man. Well, good. Good to see you. How are you doing?
Good to see you. How's it going, buddy?
It's going pretty well. A lot going on here, dealing with kid stuff and stay-at-home dad stuff. So,
what's the topic for tonight? What should we dive into?
I think we were going to talk about some accidents that involve us as kids and our kids, and kind of maybe we can instill some words of wisdom at some point in the show. So
like it.
I was kind of curious to see what type of kid were you? Were you a crazy daredevil? Were you prone to accidents as a younger child?
You know, I didn't get hurt a whole lot, but I got hurt a few times. And the big one that stands out for me was I was probably like in third grade, maybe second grade. And I basically went to this place that we called the Field, which was like this empty lot in our neighborhood where like the houses kind of like, like the housing development kind of stopped, and like it was just kind of like still like wilderness. This is out in Iowa. And I don't know why, but like my dad basically forbid me from like playing over there because.
Was it like a construction zone?
There was like some construction stuff. There was some construction stuff going on over there because like they were still like trying to like progress the neighborhood, but like that was like where the street ended, but it was like still trying to like grow. And we would go down there and like just play because there was like bulldozers that were there like unmanned that we'd be climbing around on, and like just weird crap that probably shouldn't have been left there, but I guess
stuff that normal parents would be like your dad's forbid you from going there. Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
it made sense that he told us not to go play there because people, we get hurt. And guess what happened? I got hurt there, and I went there against his wishes. And so I was over there, and I feel like there was like a pile of like wood, like they had like cleared some trees. So there was like this pile of like trees, but there was like this really like thin tree that wasn't too heavy that I was able to like lift up. And for whatever reason, like I erected the tree, like it's standing. And then it's like really tall though, like super tall. Like I don't know how many feet, like 20, 30 feet. And like I push it. Well, it's like wobbling, but I'm thinking that I had pushed it and like it's gonna like fall over. Well, right. It's still like teetering like up on, and I'm like walking away. Well, of course, just the way like life works is this damn tree proceeds to fall like right down on top of my damn head. And they had like sawed the branches off of it. So like there was like really sharp, like little like spikes on it.
Oh man. And
this freaking like tree just freaking smacks into my head, and it freaking split my head open. It was bad. It was bad. Like I was, I had like a white shirt on, which is even more cool because it just showed how much blood there was, and just blood was just like gushing down the side of my head. And it was like all over my face, like all over the side of my shirt. Like it looked like it was just,
so did you run home at this point, or?
So I had a bike down there, and being like in the panic mode that I was, I just didn't even think to jump on my bike, which would have been faster. Yeah. I just started booking. I was like I saw the blood, like I went like this and like saw the blood over my hand. I was like, ugh! And like I just started like running down the street like as fast as I could, and ran back to my dad's. My dad's like, oh my God, like, grabs a towel, like puts it on my head, and like he drives me to the hospital. And it was like one of those numbers where I only needed like 6 stitches, but like, head wounds just bleed.
Yeah.
And bleed. So they had to like shave like a little patch of my freaking hair. Like, so I had like this bald spot that whole summer that I wore a ball cap. And then they, like they give like the local injection, which freaking probably hurt just as bad as like the actual wound. Like
as bad as your stitches, Yeah.
Oh dude, that shot, it stings so bad, but then it numbs everything, and like they stitched me up, and yeah, that was that. But that was my first really bad one.
So did you get like a what for from your dad? Like, this is why I told you shouldn't be down there. You shouldn't be playing around.
Like I think it was one of those cases where I think like the accident was punishment enough where I didn't need yelled at. Like I freaking went through an ordeal where I lost like X amount of blood and like I got stitches and I got half my head, like a freaking, zip of my head shaved. Like, so
So
yeah,
is that one of those things that like you played down there, you were doing these things because your dad told you not to? Was it like a subliminal type of thing,
it was just,
or is it just that was just a fun area to hang out, so you were there?
I don't think I was doing it to like intentionally disobey him. I think it was just like, it was a spot that like drew our attention that we wanted to go because it was
Right.
like the crazy crap going on over there, like with construction gear and like, construction equipment. So we just always wanted to go down there and like hang out.
Ay, ay, ay. You got lucky, man. That's all I know. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
All right. So what's one of your let's put it
Well,
into
I've got a few, but one of them was I guess my mom has a picture. I'll see if I can find it and I'll throw it in here. But I used to take like my big wheel when I was probably 4 or 5, and I would ride around. Well, I decided to race it down this big, huge dirt hill,
oh geez.
and I like got halfway down and I totally wiped out and had like road rash like head to toe. And there's like pictures where I've got like skid marks on my face and stuff.
Oh my god.
And she never told me not to, but like the thing is like I was hurt and injured, but like I've seen this picture of me and I'm like smiling in this picture, like standing next to my big wheel, like I'm a badass, or something. But it's just like, but I'm like legitimately like have like scrapes all over.
So that was like the first really bad accident you probably can remember
Yeah,
being.
that's like, and I can't really remember it. But I had another one when I was in 5th grade, and I actually was riding a mountain bike, and I hit a bump. I was going fishing with this friend, and I ran over this bump in the sidewalk, and I went over the handlebars,
Oh my
and
god.
I smacked my face into the concrete, and I knocked out my teeth.
Ooh.
And I think I was in like
Baby teeth
fifth.
or like
No, they were adult teeth. Yeah,
oh
yeah, these are fake.
oh
So
oh oh.
yeah, I remember that, but like it's nothing that like my parents didn't tell me, not to, and I guess I wasn't being, well, I was probably like trying to do a wheelie or something. I don't recall, but
Yeah.
just like a sheer accident, and it's just I don't know how I mean, you can't live your life in a bubble, and I've had so much, like you probably had the other stories too, but it's
Yeah.
just like stupid stuff,
Yeah.
that injures you. I used to take a bicycle and I would purposely run it into a tree, and it would be right by like a busy road, and I wanted to see if people like would stop to help me. And like I don't know why, that's like a memory I have when I was like 10, but yeah, just weird story, but sorry. Anyway, sorry, that was way off topic. But
No, no,
anyways,
I like that. I like that. It's funny.
it's so stupid. And
That's
I
that,
did. I had a car pull over and be like,
like,
"Hey,
are you
little boy, are
okay?
you okay?"
Yeah.
But could you imagine that in this day? Like
Yeah.
that was years and years ago. Today, like people are gonna think you're gonna get kidnapped, or
Yeah.
what is this kid doing? It's just
Dude,
a different time.
uh I actually was playing catch with my dad. Like this was like years and years ago. Like I was probably like in middle school or probably middle school or high school. I would say middle school, and I was playing catch with my dad like in our front yard, like on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw like this little kid just cruising down the street, like this little top, like little kid just cruising down the street and like ran right into the back of a freaking pickup truck. Like I don't know like what he was looking at, or obviously not looking at, but just smacked like full speed, no helmet, just
Oh,
ran into this truck. And like it was right in front, like maybe he was watching us. I don't know what he was watching, but like he
right.
wasn't watching where he was going because he freaking went headfirst into a truck. And like we ran over there, we're like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And like he was rocked. Like,
Crying.
oh yeah, dude, he wasn't feeling good. And I mean, like he ended up being okay enough to ride off and like go back home, but like that was just kids get hurt, man. Kids get hurt. And it's always scary. It's always scary to like be there, but like I always feel like they make kind of like the best stories too.
Right.
when like you're
I
with
mean,
your
and
buddies?
it's kind of like like some of it's like a rite of passage. Like, oh, like, did you see this bruise or did you see this cut? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to school with that, and you're just like showing all your friends like how bad like your road rash is from your bike wreck, you know, or
Yeah.
whatever. The funny thing is too is like I've had that trauma of knocking my teeth out, so
Mm-hmm.
now I feel like I am more in tune to like dental trauma with my own kids. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
feel and the funny thing is my older daughter Olivia she has almost knocked her teeth out twice now.
Oh yeah, you told me. That's crazy.
Being and she's 6 years old. So the first time it happened when she was like 2 and she fell and there were baby teeth still of course, but she fell and she like landed on like this like bolt that comes out of this park equipment and it jammed like right into her gums
Ah,
and it like cut her gums like right above her teeth.
mm,
And Megan had a white shirt on at the time and it was just blood. It was blood all over Megan's shirt. And we brought her to the dentist and they were like, oh yeah, she's probably going to lose that tooth and all this. But
yeah.
we got lucky with that. And she healed and everything was fine. And then last summer we went down to a place to go hiking. And now she's got her permanent teeth, her
Mm,
2 permanent, but they were just came through. So they were like,
mm,
half of the way where they should be fully,
mm,
out.
mm.
And we were hiking down a trail and she tripped on like a tree root and she laid herself out. And she actually hit like one of her baby teeth next to her permanent teeth.
And knocked it out.
And she almost knocked it out. It was like really loose and it was bleeding like crazy. And
Mm,
initially I thought she had broken her 2
good.
permanent, and I was just like, I was panicking like so bad. Like, but
Mm-hmm.
like, that's where my mind goes because I've had these traumas as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know how that is. So now I'm always like super worried about my kids having that type of trauma. It's kind of like a weird
Yep.
deal. So I feel like I've kind of become a helicopter parent in that aspect, but
That makes sense though, because you went through the trauma. So like you're like extra sensitive to like teeth trauma.
right.
You know? I think
Maybe you'll be extra sensitive to cranium
I
trauma
don't
with
I
your
don't I
daughter.
don't I don't know. My brother was actually we used to play frisbee all the time. My dad and I, my brother, when we were kids, we'd play frisbee all the time. And uh my dad threw a frisbee at my brother. And I don't know how my brother like missed the catch, but like it just dinged him like in the teeth and it knocked out a tooth. But it was a baby tooth. But we
Okay.
still were like a little freaked out because like that's not a good way to lose a tooth. So,
Right. Yeah. That's a little premature, It's
so
like,
we rushed him to the dentist. But dude, I as a big brother, so I was the oldest, and then I had like I had a sister and a brother that were both younger than me, and I messed them up like on multiple occasions and never intentionally. Like I'm a nice guy.
yeah.
Even as a brother, like I know like big brothers like pick on their little. I was never trying to hurt them, but I like royally hurt them a few times. Um, I mean, I fractured my sister's arm, and like
Oh, yeah.
that sounds bad,
That
but
sounds really bad.
honestly, what was happening was she was like those. We had a backyard, we had a swing set in the backyard, and she was like on the swing, and I was just like running around, and I wasn't really paying attention, and I just somehow like collided with her, like as I was like
Ooh.
running by, like she freaking like collided, and as she fell off the swing, her arm got wrapped around the chain,
Mm.
and she just got like yanked weird, and like that yank of like her falling like off the swing like cracked her arms.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I don't think she had a cast, but she had a sling for like several weeks of that summer, I remember.
So I kind of have a feeling that that's what I'm going to be having to look forward to with my 2 girls. And
Mhm.
maybe even you, if you guys happen to have a second or not, but like,
We're talking about it, but we're still thinking about it.
yeah. So I think I'm afraid that like, because mine's 6 and 3, and they're kind of getting to that age right now of roughhousing
Mhm.
and like doing crazy stuff and jumping off stuff and wrestling and stuff. So I
Coming
think
next.
more of the bodily injury from a sibling is
Yeah.
like coming down the pipe for sure. I
Well,
mean,
just to balance it out, I got to tell you about my brother, what I did to him, because this was equally well. I did a
so
few
you
bad
broke
things.
your sister's arm.
Broke my sister's arm, so we're gonna like make the list. Say I broke my sister's arm. My brother, I had a slingshot. I had a hunter style slingshot. You know, like those things that are like you can get like the freaking like ball bearings, like you can literally like hunt animals and shit with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
wrist
about? Like
rocket. Yeah.
it's a wrist rocket. But it's a
Yeah.
legitimate, like I didn't have a toy. I had like the real deal. I could have killed someone with it. And I was pretty young when I had it. Well, I told my brother, like, hey, bro, hold the frisbee up for me for like target practice. So like he holds his frisbee like right in front of himself, like center mass, like, and luckily I wasn't shooting like a ball bearing or something. Like I shot, like those golf balls that aren't actual golf balls, but they're like hollow for like just like practice golf balls.
Like a wiffle almost.
It's like a wiffle golf ball kind of.
Okay.
Well, not like a wiffle ball because it's like a golf ball, but
Little, but it's got holes in it.
but it's completely hollow. It's not.
Okay.
No, it's not got holes in it. It just looks like a golf ball that's not like a solid golf ball. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
My dad had them. They're like practice golf balls or something. I was like, I'll just shoot this. It's like,
It's lightweight, right?
Lightweight. And I freaking like, but like literally from point blank, like I was like maybe like 5 feet from him, and I got it pulled all the way back, or maybe it was no, you know what? I was probably for like 15 feet. And I freaking shoot it, and I don't really think about the fact that because it's like such a hollow ball, like it freaking moved weird, and like it did like this crazy like curve move, like where I shot it, and I swear to God, it did like this insane like curve, and it smacks right on his kneecap, and like just dropped him, and I heard this smack. Like I think everyone in the neighborhood heard this smack when it like smacked his knee, because it wasn't a pleasant sound, and he just drops. And like he's holding his knee, and like I run over there, and you can see like the divot, like the golf ball divot holes, like all over his kneecap. I was like, oh my God. Like, I mean,
in 20 years, he's gonna be like having knee surgeries and knee pains. And
had that been an actual golf ball, like it would have shattered his kneecap. But it was just like a plastic hollow golf ball that just, it had to sting though, like crazy, because it just smacked the hell out of his knee. So you're welcome, bro.
God.
You're welcome, bro. I'm sure you're watching. Sorry about
So you
that.
broke a kneecap. You broke an arm.
Broken arm. Shattered a kneecap. Broke a head. I'm on a roll.
So how are you gonna deal? Like what? Like, are you gonna let your daughter like kind of push the envelope of like danger zone, like doing kind of crazy stuff? Like, I mean, like my youngest Kennedy she's kind of nutty. She likes to jump off furniture. She likes to like jump off stairs and stuff like that. And I'm kind of letting her do it, but I think to an extent. I don't know how much I'll let that go, because I feel like I am kind of like that helicopter parent that wants to almost wrap my kids in bubble wrap. I know that's not like the good thing, you know. I mean, kids need to experience things and fall and scrape their knee and stuff. They can't, parents can't protect them forever. But like, where do you stand on that? How do you think you'll handle that?
Oh my God. So, Sophia's still like a newborn, and I'm like super protective. And the first time she gets hurt, it's gonna like hurt me like right here. Like I don't want to
feelings. Yeah.
I've already said she's not dating until she's 30. And like, I don't know, man. I think that I'm more scared of like her dating than I am of her just getting hurt, because I don't know why. Like, just thought of another boy like breaking her heart, like really like that's gonna be something it's gonna be hard to deal with. But yeah, I want her to like have fun, and I didn't want to ever be like told. I think as kids, like you can be told don't touch the stove because it's hot. Mm-hmm. And there's some kids that can be like, okay, I won't touch it because it's hot. But there's other kids that are just like, I don't know if I believe you. And like they have to like touch it. And like if she's that type, like so be it. I mean, she'll learn, and hopefully she
it's like they need like that's a good analogy. Like they need to find out on their own. Like like it's like you're right. Like they don't believe you. Like if you told your daughter like, don't skateboard. Skateboard is really dangerous. It's really hard, and you're very easily break an ankle or a wrist when you eat, But I feel like that now that they would have to find that out like on their own, So.
Well, yeah, I like the way you put that, because my dad always had the greatest advice, the soundest advice, and I was the type of kid that was like, I got to figure it out myself. And like he's like, I told you not to do that. This was gonna happen. I was like, I know, but I had to figure it out. Like that was just me. Like I had to figure it out myself.
I had to try. I had to try this. Like I knew I kept, there was that voice in the back of your head that was like, my dad told me this was wrong.
Yep.
And then in the middle of it, you're like, oh my God, he was right. And
Yep.
then by then it's too late and you've
Yep.
done screwed up, you know?
But I think that's just part of living. I mean, at least for some people, like I have to be the one that just like experiences, even if it's, painful and, like I have to learn that way sometimes. At least I did when I was young. Like I'm getting better, I hope, as I get older, like
Right.
listening to wisdom.
I think it's good. And I think you're right. It's a learning experience. And just like with anything, like a kid has to find out, and a kid has to scrape their knee, and they're gonna break an arm, and they're gonna, knock their teeth out if that's, I mean, we can't, as parents, we can't protect them from these things. These things are going to happen. And I guess, I don't know, I guess we just be there to pick up the pieces and give them the comfort, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. How have you dealt with I mean, like you said that you kind of like really freaked out when Olivia, you thought like broke her
Yeah,
teeth.
and I probably don't handle it the best because I get super like to a level and I'm like, oh my God, like, oh, and I probably sound like I'm almost angry
And then it
with her, but I'm not. I'm just super like
Mhm.
concerned, and
Well, what's weird? It's weird you said that because when my wife gets hurt, I get angry sounding, but it's not that I'm angry, it's that I'm so upset that she got hurt.
Mhm.
Like my wife has cut herself a few times, like with like knives or scissors. Just she's kind of accident prone with sharp things, and she's always opening boxes. And she sliced herself or burned herself in the stove a few times.
Ah,
For some reason, I get like the reaction makes me sound like I'm angry, but it's not
right.
that I'm mad. It's that I don't want her to like suffer and be in pain, and like I'm so upset that, oh my God, I can't believe you cut yourself. Like,
Yeah, I actually did that on just the other weekend. Olivia was riding her bike and she was like, I don't know, 50 yards ahead of me, and me and my wife were going for a walk and she was riding her bicycle, and she like did something weird and turned her handlebars and like fell over and took a handlebar to like the side of her body, and it's got a
ugh,
big like raspberry on her skin, and
whew.
and she was upset and crying, and I kind of run up there and I'm like, oh, like what happened? And I'm like trying to figure out like I'm concerned, like, are you okay? But I'm also like,
Mhm.
how did you do this?
Mhm.
Like, but it's like, you're right. Like I sound probably almost angry, and
Mhm.
maybe I need to like check myself and be like,
Mhm.
or catch myself when I'm talking, like, oh, like I am concerned. I'm not mad. I don't know, like to
It's
make my
interesting.
child feel a little bit better, that she's not in trouble per se.
You know what I think it might be, and this just is me like really taking a deep dive. But I think it's just us wanting to be like in control of the situation, and being
Hmm.
in a situation where we're not in control, and we're like, oh my God, like, like I didn't want to let this happen, and how did this happen? Like we're
Right.
kind of like you see what I'm saying? It's like a
Yeah.
weird control thing where we're almost being a control freak, like after the fact, like how did you cut yourself with the knife? Like,
Yeah. Right. Like, God, like what were you doing to like,
yeah,
how
but
would
but
you
I'm
make that happen
but I'm
and
not mad
crash your
at you.
bicycle? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm just upset that you got hurt.
I'm
Like,
mad at the
I'm mad at
situation.
the
Like,
situation. And I think it's just like a guy thing because we do want to be able like to be the protector and to like fix things and like,
I agree. And it's like no matter how much that we helicopter, like, and tell our kids, no, don't do this, just like you did to your dad, you went down and played at the construction site anyways. Like,
yeah.
I feel like kids are going to do these things and make these mistakes and make these choices on their own. So like, I mean, we can still voice our opinion and tell them, and try to steer them in the right direction. But um, in a certain sense, I guess maybe we have to let them kind of
Be
find out on
kids.
their own. Kids
Yeah,
be kids.
kids will be kids. And I think that's kind of like the takeaway where as much as we want to try to protect them from things, they're gonna get hurt.
Hmm.
They're gonna learn through like doing the wrong things. And that's just kind of human nature. I think
You learn through
as
mistakes, right? Is that what they always say?
Yeah, and I think part of being a parent is just it's like this process of like letting go while still caring
Hmm.
because you have to let go for them to like live to some degree.
And there's a certain point too with like, you let them fall or you let them fail at riding a skateboard and hurt themselves, and then they've got to pick themselves back up and keep trying. We don't want them to never you want to overcome, like, I fell, now let's get back on my bike and let's keep
Yeah.
going. We don't want to scare them from ever like, oh, I don't want to ride a bike anymore. It hurt me, so
Absolutely.
maybe there's something involved in that too. So
there's like a balance of learn your lessons and like pick yourself back up. Like, I don't know. There's a
kind of
lesson
like
there.
there's a few underlying, there's a layer. It's not just one dimensional. It's like there's a few there.
So do you have any more examples, or where do you think we're at?
I think we're good, man. Just the takeaway is protect your kids, but let them be kids. I guess
They're gonna get hurt, but that's just natural.
Yeah.
And do the best you can to let them explore and figure it out.
Yeah, right. So if anyone out there has any stories, leave them in a comment. Hit us up on Instagram and tell us your horrific injury stories with your kids or whatever. So
we would love to
enjoy hearing them. Yeah.
Love to hear them. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time.
See you later. All right, that's our show. Thanks for watching Stay at Home Dads.
You know the drill, guys. Blah, blah, blah. Hit that like button, subscribe.
We'll catch you on the flip side.